Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't have to, and today we are talking about Snapchat's SNAP stock and why the stock price is absolutely crashing right now. We're also going to go over their earnings projections for their upcoming earnings report, which should actually be released sometime later today. Then we're going to talk about Robinhood's HOOD stock and why the stock is down so much and how I think it may continue to downtrend well into the future until the stock can actually achieve profitability and build upon its overall fundamentals. Then we're going to conclude by talking about Alibaba's BABA stock and how this fantastic growth stock is actually trading in value territory right now, and why analysts actually think this is a fantastic buying opportunity for investors to get into Alibaba stock right now. So if you want more videos like this one and more stock market news updates, remember to go and smash the like button right now, subscribe if you are new, comment your thoughts down below about Snapchat, Robinhood stock, and Alibaba, and without further ado, let's get right into today's story. So Snapchat, ticker name Snap, ticker symbol SNAP, has dropped very dramatically recently, which followed Meta Platforms, formerly known as Facebook, ticker symbol FB, because they flopped on their earnings report. This has caused many other social media companies to pull back in price, such as Snapchat, Twitter, and even Pinterest. Snapchat, if you didn't know, currently trades at a stock price of $25 per share. The low-end price target, according to analysts, for the next 12 months is $36 per share. The average price consensus is $63 per share, and the high-end price target is $85 for the next 12 months. Snapchat is a social media company that allows its users to communicate via sending pictures, stories, and even chatting. 43 analysts currently cover this stock, and the overall consensus of the stock is a solid buy rating, where 31 of these 43 analysts say to buy the stock, 12 of these analysts say to hold the stock because it has good future potential, but it may not give you the best returns right now, and none of these 43 analysts said to sell the stock. So overall, we can conclude that even though the stock price for SNAP stock is down about 20.5%, the stock overall is still pretty good because the overall company that it represents still has solid fundamentals. KeyBank also announced that they have cut their Snapchat stock price target down to around $36 per share, and the reason why they did this was because Meta Platforms had such a bad earnings report. But actually, if you look at Meta Platforms' earnings report, it actually wasn't that terrible, and I know it didn't meet analyst predictions, but overall, it's not like it was terrible, and I don't think that it should have caused all of these stocks to crash. But with that being said, this institution, which is KeyBank, still says that Snapchat stock is a buy right now, and their price target still implies around 40% upside for investors in the next 12 months, which is still a phenomenal return. While Snapchat is still an unprofitable company on a GAAP accounting principles basis, the company is approaching free cash flows. The company is approaching their free cash flow break-even point, and they're only burning around $7 million of cash over the last 12 months. Analysts still are overall very bullish on the company because the fundamentals of the company are still pretty solid, and it's supposed to scale very nicely. For instance, analysts have a forecast report for Snap that they're going to have a full year free cash flow of around $3.1 billion of real cash profits by 2025, and to me that's still pretty phenomenal. But what about their earnings report that is coming out literally today? If you didn't know, they have projections from analysts that go over their adjusted earnings per share as well as their revenue forecasts, and analysts think that both of these metrics are anticipated to grow very healthily over the next few years. Analysts actually project that Snapchat's earnings report is supposed to be its strongest in the last few years. So if anything, we can anticipate a strong recovery in the short term for Snap stock. Overall, their EPS, or earnings per share, is anticipated to increase in their most recent earnings report, which is the fourth quarter, of 24.5% year over year, which is phenomenal news. For the full year of 2021, analysts currently forecast that the company is going to get its first adjusted positive EPS in the last 4 years, while its revenues increase around 60.3%. If you want to see the official projections, we can see their adjusted earnings per share here, their revenue metrics here, and their average daily active users right here. If you can't see the screen right now, I will audibly tell you that their earnings per share is anticipated to come in at 10 cents positive per share. Their revenues are set to come in at around $1.2 billion, and their daily active users have scaled up to 316.9 million, which is more than last year, where they only had 265 million, and the year prior to that, they only had 218 million. Now let's talk about Robinhood's HOOD stock and why the stock has fallen around 85%. A while ago, I made a video about how Robinhood stock will actually crash off of its IPO, and it will downtrend for a very long time, and clearly that prediction was right. If you want to, I will link that video down below in the description. If you didn't know, Robinhood Markets, ticker symbol HOOD, is the go-to stock trading platform for young people, specifically Generation Z, according to this article. The current stock price for the stock currently trades at $14.63. The low-end price target is $12 per share. The average price consensus is $19 for the next 12 months, and the high-end price prediction is $45 per share. This is a stock trading brokerage platform that allows users to buy and sell stocks as well as cryptocurrencies, and overall investors have mixed opinions about this particular company. The company recently released their fourth quarter 2021 earnings results on January 27th, which actually confirmed the bad news that investors feared, which just added to the negative sentiment already surrounding this company. On top of this bad news, various regulatory bodies are planning to increase the regulatory pressure that is focused on cryptocurrencies, and because Robinhood now is involved with cryptocurrencies, and they have been for a few years, this is going to be to their detriment, which is why the stock price is continuously trending downward. But the company wasn't always downtrending because initially it experienced fantastic growth, and to maintain this fantastic growth, they decided to expand their prospects more from just options and stocks and into cryptocurrencies like we said before. And to me, I actually think that was a very smart move by this particular brokerage company, but it hasn't fared well with them recently. However, in the long term, I think that they could definitely make up for this, and that to me, it wasn't a bad decision. However, if we look at their fundamentals and the important financial metrics that underlined this company, they are not very positive. For instance, if we look at their monthly active users or even assets under management, we can see that these have dropped. For monthly active users, in quarter one of 2021, they had around 17.7 million active users, and then in quarter two that increased to around 21.3 million, but then it decreased for the next two quarters, and currently we're sitting at around 17.3 million active users for quarter four of 2021, which is lower than their Q1 2021 active users. Also, their management under custody was very high in quarter two of 2021 at around $1.2 billion, and that fell down to $98 billion. Their average revenue per user also fell dramatically, and this is why many investors are abandoning the stock temporarily, because this doesn't mean that Robinhood can't have a reversal or become a profitable good company in the future. It just means that currently the stock and the company doesn't have that much support from investors, because back in quarter one of 2021, their average revenue per user was $137, but if we skip to quarter four of 2021, their average revenue per user fell down to only $64, so they took a huge blow. This also impacted their revenue very negatively. For instance, in quarter one of 2021, they brought in total revenues of around $522 million for the quarter, which is very impressive. However, if we look at the Q4 2021 revenues, their revenues have fallen from $522 million down to only $363 million. So these metrics are falling, and this is what gives investors cold feet to take their money out of the stock. But wait, it gets even worse. A lot of their revenues actually came from cryptocurrencies, which comprised around 51% of their base revenues for the second quarter. However, those revenues have fallen to around 18% because currently cryptocurrency trading only makes up around 18% of Robinhood's overall revenue. Remember, this is before the headwinds are coming from various regulatory bodies and the IRS, which want to put in more cryptocurrency regulations starting in 2023, which means that anyone who owns, sells, exchanges, or spends their crypto tokens will be liable for taxes on those gains or expenses. And this means that Robinhood is going to have to keep track of all of the individuals who use cryptocurrencies on their platforms. To me, if you want to invest in cryptocurrencies, I would not recommend Robinhood. I would recommend BlockFi, Celsius, even Crypto.com. One of those are much better for a plethora of reasons, but this is not a cryptocurrency video, so I won't go into the reasons why I don't use Robinhood for cryptocurrencies. So currently, it appears that the risks for investing into HOOD stock and Robinhood as a company are far too great for the growth that they are offering investors at this current time. Robinhood is also not a profitable company, and analysts actually anticipate that the company will continue posting losses and not become profitable throughout 2023. So we are going to have to wait a couple years before Robinhood actually becomes a profitable company. Now I want to talk about Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. Currently, Alibaba trades for around $122.88 because recently the BABA stock price has been falling very dramatically due to various economic and political factors happening over in the Chinese market and the Hong Kong exchanges. Alibaba rivals such as JD.com, Baidu, Pinduoduo, and many other companies are also falling. They are under deep water. This even includes electric vehicle makers such as NIO and XPeng, and I'll even throw Li Auto in there, which have also dropped based off of either bad deliveries or overall market volatility. However, we can use this weakness in the market to actually make a lot of money off of stocks such as Alibaba's BABA stock. Their shares are currently trading at less than 15 times their free cash flows, and their PS ratio, or price to sales multiple, is only 2.4, which means this company is actually in value territory right now, and the company is still doing very good because it's growing its revenues at a 30% compounding annual growth rate, which is absolutely phenomenal. This has led investors to say that Alibaba and their BABA stock is actually a strong buying opportunity. According to TipRanks, 20 out of 23 analysts from Wall Street that are covering Alibaba stock actually say that the stock is a clear buying opportunity right now. It is a 12-month stock price target of $190.46, which implies around 70% upside from the stock's current price. The low-end price target comes in at around $140, while the current stock price for BABA stock trades at around $121 per share. So overall, to me, it's a fantastic buying opportunity. Snapchat's very volatile, but overall the company still has very good fundamentals, and we are going to have to wait just a little longer before we decide to dip our toes into Robinhood stock, just because they are actually losing members and their revenues per user is actually downtrending right now. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on these stocks, but I want to hear your thoughts. Comment your thoughts down below about Snapchat, Robinhood, and Alibaba stock. Smash the like button right now if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.